Hello everyone, I would like to show you how the rugs are woven. So I will not do big one with you, I will do the small one. I will use only few pegs out of entire lot and will show you in principle how it is done. Let's say you would like to make that long rug. In this case you need to measure the string and double the length of the finished product. So if your rug is 1 meter long, your string should be 2 meters long. So I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pegs. I will do rug on the 6 pegs. So I will measure 6 times the length, double length, which I need. So it is 4, 5, and 6. So then you use scissors. I will use knife. Then you cut the string on one end after you measured it, and then you will need to thread each peg of what you would like to use. I've got this little loop, so if you've got the set kit from me, you will have this kind of thing in your kit. So I will thread each string, and I will not make any knots. The peg is in the middle and the yarn is just hanging down, and you place peg hole down into your loom and yarn away from yourself. So you will need to do all the pegs to make rug. In my case it will be only 6, just to make quick video, don't take my time and teach you how it is done in principle. Right. I will use grey Herdwick wool, which was delivered yesterday by Dan Jones, farmer from Great Orme. But if you received any other wool, it's all good. Doesn't matter what wool it is, from what ship, it all can be spun and used. So yet again, no knots needed. We just need in the end to secure the rug to 3 ends of the yarn. Right. Thread. And one more to go. So now, after I've done this one, will be interesting part. So, all pegs in. I'll take away what is extra. So I've got this Herdwick wool. All wool is sort of a little bit felted. So you don't need to try to dispatch anything or separate. So get the length, see how it stretches, and start spinning it into your hand. As long as you have one end done, you can overlap it on the first peg and then spin clockwise or anti-clockwise, but you will need to remember and go the same way through entire rug. So you keep spinning it. Don't take particularly long piece at a time, and then just weave around the pegs. As you reach the end, overlap and weave opposite direction. So let's do a little bit of weaving. So as long as you have completed the line, push the wool down and then get more wool, overlap and twist together, weaving at the same direction as what you started. So I normally do anti-clockwise, but it doesn't matter really. The chunkier you do your rug, the warmer it will be and the quicker it will be done. If you want to do little cushions or blankets, then you will need to keep your yarn pretty thin and light. So yeah, again, I run out of the yarn, I take more. I'm always watching what direction wool is stretching. So take this end, overlap, twist, and stretch a little bit to keep it pretty much even through entire length. So your rug was pretty thick the same thick through entire width and length of the rug. And again, in and out and around. You can change the colors. I will do it all gray, but you can add any other colors like white or brown, or do entire rug from white and brown. So in my little example for you, it will be all gray. Right, so every time you've done, you will need to push yarn down. You want to keep it pretty tight, so you will not need to waste your time on pulling up pegs. What you try to achieve is to build up entire length of the pegs up whilst weaving, and then you will be ready to do next step. So let's say I've done all the length up. Yes, I have a comfortable distance to pull up pegs, so I will weave only one peg going backwards, and then I will start pulling pegs from opposite end, and you will see how this yarn will slide up. So I've slided the yarn through, and then I will put it in a hole which is right behind the wool, the same hole where I took the peg from. Oops. And every single peg is this way, so it goes in the same hole. And our rug, the beginning of our rug, is sliding down on the yarn. So I've reached the point where I have one peg woven, and this is very important, not to pull up this peg, because tension will be changed. So I'm adding more wool, spinning more, and starting weaving on the fresh pegs. And as I've done few pegs, now tension is even. What was before, the same now, and now I can pull this peg up. So as you can see, beginning of our rug is, oh, it's sliding down here, is on the threads. So just pull it back. Done probably too short, could lift a bit more, but that's fine. So now we will do next step. You will reach the point where the situation will be pretty similar to what I've got. So you will weave your rug over and over again, and you will have the point when it is too much already built up on the threads, and you will need to secure them. How do you do it? You will see that each thread has two ends. When you start securing, you take two first, so both threads from first pair, and you will take single thread from second pair, and you will make a knot. Then you will see that this side overlaps yarn from the top and this side from the bottom, so in a way it is a loop, so there's nowhere to go. Then you take in single thread from the second pair and a single thread from the third pair, and again one goes on the yarn, another above, and you make a double knot. And yet again single from the top, single from the bottom of the yarn, and a double knot. And the same way you do entire length of your rug, so single and single, till the point when you've done last singles. Then you have single left and you have double left, because there is no neighbor, you have to use double. So you've done the double, and that's it, the bottom of your rug secured. So when you finished weaving, of the rug, you will need to do exactly the same knots on the top. You will just cut the threads of the pegs, and you will do just exactly the same. So let's do a little bit more, and then I will show you how it is done on the top. Okay, so let's finish now, and this end I will need to secure, so I overlap the last peg and I go underneath. So it literally goes underneath. And then I pull the yarn. Hi Dewi. I pull the yarn, and again I put into the holes all the yarn. And that's it. My rug is in front of me. And now I take my scissors, which is not scissors, and I cut off the pegs. Oops. So I've done 2, and I will secure them. So I take 2 from here, single from the neighbor, and I make a knot. Then the same story. Then couple. I don't want to lose sort of yarn. I don't want it to go back. That's why I don't do all at a time. I do just few. So single and single. And you can see that the yarn secured underneath, that it is a loop. So single and single again. And then we have a last peg where we will have to knot double string. So you can leave the ends of the string as decorative long or make them short. And that's it. This piece of the rug, well, this is like a baby size, dollhouse size.